There are two paths you must choose to be successful. The first is the path of least resistance, and the second might surprise you. A few years ago, a friend mentioned to me she had walked 10,000 steps that day without even realizing it. It reminded me how we need to design our lives so we don't feel like we're constantly swimming against the current or just climbing uphill. Where possible, I want to hop on a train or a roller coaster and let it slide me to my destination with the least friction possible. Because when I'm facing friction point after friction point, it's going to wear me out. You could look at this as taking things out of your life that were creating friction or adding things in that can remove the friction. If there is a chocolate cake on my kitchen counter every morning, I'm going to face some friction when I look at it and I'm trying to eat my eggs and vegetables for breakfast. Here's another example. There are times I join masterminds and accountability groups to get things done. That rhythm and sense of expectation, it helps me complete tasks where I might otherwise feel resistance toward them or put them off if I'm doing it on my own. And we know when we go to Amazon.com, there is minimal friction. It is so easy to get to that buy button. So it's important to choose a path of least resistance so momentum can happen without it feeling like we're pulling teeth. The first path is the one of least resistance, the train or roller coaster that slides you to your destination. But I don't think this approach alone is enough. And I was reminded of this in an email from Casey Jo Orvidas, a fitness coach who also has a PhD in psychology. There are certain tasks where we're just going to have to push through and fight through the resistance and do it ourselves. And I think that's what sets a lot of successful people apart. There are certain areas where we need the time to grow the muscle. For many of us, you're going to outsource your social media, videos, content writing. But there are others where it will benefit you to build your writing and content creation muscle because no one knows your story or the value of what you offer like you do. Coach Casey Jo says the path of more resistance can actually make things easier for you later on. If you want to learn, get better, or become more efficient at something, keep in mind, easy doesn't build strong skills. If you're like me, you're not a black and white thinker, and you know that two seemingly opposing ideas can work in your favor. So remember to set up certain tasks in your life to feel easy. Reduce the friction where you can. But also remember there will be some areas where you have to push through and build your skills until that muscle becomes stronger. Build your attention span, build your energy and your willingness to fight through boredom and tiredness. This is a longer term strategy where it might be hard now, but it's going to make life easier later. So remember, path of least resistance, path of most resistance, you need them both.